One of the most important things that we did to this building is we actually added a second bedroom. So from taking this from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house up to a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house has extremely raised the valuation of this building. Painting this place was a disaster. I'm talking 3 coats of oil-based primer to get rid of the nicotine stains because it kept bleeding through. Don't smoke. If you see what it does to your walls, if you see what it does to paint, you'll know why right away. It shouldn't be in your lungs. The bank's gonna give me now $200,000. So this is what we call the BRRRR method, guys. This is buy it, renovate it, rent it out, then refinance it, and then repeat it. And how are you gonna repeat it? Well, you just got your money back. That we come away plus 20K.
$70,000 in new equity over the course of maybe 7 months of renovations. In today's video, Adam Martin's going to break down for us exactly his most recent BRRRR project turned out. I'm really excited to dive into these numbers. I always love showcasing newer investors as they're growing and evolving along their journey. And you guys probably remember Adam Martin from way back in the day on my YouTube channel. And in addition, he's really been growing and blossoming as a real estate investor. He also now manages and leads my wholesale team, so he's got 2 full-time direct reports, that's Mike and Shahir, who are constantly pounding the pavement in order to find us the best real estate deals. This deal that Adam's going to showcase for us actually came from our wholesale list as well. So if you guys are interested in joining our email list, we're going to throw a link in the video description down below. You guys can hop over and sign up for our free email list that's going to showcase for you all our wholesale real estate deals as they come up. But we actually give preference to Cashflow Tribe members first. So if you haven't checked out Cashflow Tribe, there's also going to be a link in the video description down below. But let's dive into today's video and learn from Adam Martin how he created $70,000 in equity in essentially 7 months.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to London, Ontario, and I'm going to walk you through some of the numbers and a property tour of my most recent property that I partnered on with Troy Piersich from the network. And this video is going to be all about showing you the power of buying smart and buying at the right purchase price and the impact that that has on the bottom line when you actually get good deals. So this house, again, is right here in a desirable neighborhood of Old East Village. This has been on the come up for years. It has a lot of our best breweries nearby. So there's 2 craft breweries within 3 minutes of here. There's also some of London's best coffee at Fire Roasted Coffee Co. and some really interesting restaurants like the Root Cellar nearby, as well as Ilberry and Goose, one of London's premium clothing companies that really attracts community and culture. And this neighborhood has been all about people that are interested in the community and interested in growing with the city. And a lot of these people have migrated over from some of the more expensive neighborhoods where they're just getting priced out, and they're moving a lot of money this way. It's cold and flu season here today in Canada, which means everybody's sick and my throat is also destroyed, so bear with me here. But again, like I was saying, we're in the up and coming neighborhood, Old East Village, and we were able to get this property at an extraordinary price for this really small but cute house. So when we got here, and I'm sure they'll show you some pictures here, this building was really rough. It was in pretty bad shape. All the cosmetic work needed to be done. The flooring was terrible, the ceilings were falling in, and actually the layout was totally different than what you can see today. So we'll show you some pictures on that. But in the meantime, I'll break down the numbers for you. So this house was 1 bedroom and 1 bath when we bought it. It's obviously a single family house, and again, we're in Old East Village. So this is actually about 740 square feet if you just go length by width. So it'll end up being slightly less due to the walls and stuff. And there is a basement down here, but we're not using it. We're just using it as a laundry room. So our renovation focused mostly on really changing the layout and adding a ton of value. So I'm going to tell you a bit about the strategic elements that we did in here to add a ton of value and get up to our much higher valuation on this property. So we actually got this property for $132,500. That was the purchase price on the contract, but we bought it off of a wholesaler here that was on our team at the time. So yes, we bought our own wholesaler's inventory and still paid the fee, guys. This is the power. This is the, and I'm going to show you through the numbers. This is the power of getting properties at the right price and the right terms and under the right circumstances. So through our wholesaler, Dylan on our team, we actually paid a $7,500 fee, bringing our cost of acquisition up to $140,000. So for $140,000, we were able to get this 1-bed, 1-bath house here in Old East Village, which honestly, it didn't matter the condition. As long as this building looked like it was going to stay on its feet for a while, this was well worth the cost, and especially to pay this fee. So we paid the fee. We ended up with $140,000, and it was really tricky to get financing because this place was definitely a mess. Like, there was water damage from the ceiling in the back that had been repaired. So the roof had been repaired, but he just left the drywall falling in. There was electrical wires coming from the ceiling that you guys will see. There was like an open bedroom kind of in this corner in front of me here where you guys are actually sitting right now. And the whole building itself, like exterior, interior, was just so dirty, so messy, so full of clutter and junk. So the bank actually had a fairly hard time getting us a mortgage, and my partner was also buying multiple properties at the same time. So it was kind of tricky to get into it, but we knew that it would be well worth it if we actually just stuck with the plan, stuck with the strategic renovations, and moved forward by adding value to the building. So you might ask, how did we do that? Well, first of all, right where I'm standing, this used to be where the fridge was. So this was actually like a big built-in closet that had absolutely no value add to the property at all. And then if you can see right behind me, this white wall, that's actually a doorway. That was the only doorway to the rest of the house. So you were kind of stuck in this living room, like what we're using as the living room. You were stuck here, and that was his bedroom. And then there was just this giant room that we'll show you again once we walk through the property. There was this giant room that was being used kind of like a dining room, kind of like the kitchen. It really made no sense at all. And then his fridge was just here. It was just a large fridge in the middle of the house, far away from the kitchen, and none of it made sense, guys. And we'll show you, it gets even weirder when we get into the bathroom. The bathroom was probably the funniest part of this whole house. But anyways, we had a tough time getting into this for financing, and then we made a plan. We planned on spending about $20,000 to $30,000 to renovate and furnish this place. We actually landed at $40,000 and about a month or two over. So it's always best, and I've learned this now for the third time, it's always best to overestimate your cost, overestimate the time it's going to take, especially if you have other commitments, if you have other businesses that you're running. So for a lot of you, that might be your full-time job, that might be your personal relationships, that might be other professional relationships or commitments that you have. So if you're on any committees or anything like that, I would expect that all of those things are going to take more of your time and more of your energy and more of your effort than you originally thought, and certainly the project will. So as soon as you start opening walls, as soon as you start doing anything to the structure of the building, just assume that you're immediately going to be more expensive and take longer than you had originally estimated. And that's exactly what happened to us here. So we ended up about 25% over our budget, as well as at least 25% over our timeline budget as well. So we had scope creep, which then adds time to your project, which add costs inherently just because of carrying costs, as well as the cost of getting more money for the actual project. So we landed around $40,000, and that was to renovate and furnish it, which is actually amazing considering the scope of the work that was done here. So we changed out windows, we redid flooring, we redid the entire bathroom. It's gorgeous. You guys will see that really clearly. We redid the entire kitchen, so new cabinets, new shelving, new appliances, and then we furnished the whole thing. But one of the most important things that we did to this building is we actually added a second bedroom. So this is massive, because your typical strategic renovations are like your flooring, your paint, your kitchen. Those three things alone can add tremendous value to the building if done properly. And again, we always do go with the luxury vinyl plank. It's about $2 a square foot. It's super simple to work with. It's waterproof, it's scratch resistant. It's very hard to go wrong with luxury vinyl plank. And for the cost, I don't think you could sell me on going with any other product. We have hardwood at the mansion here in London, and it is terrible. It scratches, it gets like dents in it, indentations, it gets discoloring from sun sun and stuff like that, where this luxury vinyl plank is very, very hard to damage, and it will go the long term for you. So you're going to look for that in your rentals, because ultimately we are going to use this as an Airbnb to start, but if we do ever want to flip this, or if we do ever want to turn this into a long-term rental, we want to make sure that our products and the things that we put in here are going to stand time, especially with the Airbnb. These short-term rentals, we do allow pets here, we allow groups of people, we allow, to a certain extent, you're not really able to police parties and stuff like that. So if there's spills, if there's things dropping on the ground, we want to make sure that these products are not getting destroyed, because ultimately we paid to have all the flooring ripped up, and we paid to have all this flooring relaid. If we had to take a piece of that flooring out because it was laminate and now it's dented, or it's got water damage, or for whatever other reason, it's going to be expensive and it's going to be a hassle and take more time and energy away from us. So those strategic renovations, those three are usually the big three, and then if ever possible, you do want to add that next bedroom. So from taking this from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house up to a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house has extremely raised the valuation of this building. It's far more desirable for families. It's far more desirable even for bachelors and single people, because now they can actually host family or other people. Taking it up from 1-bed to 2-bed is seriously going to add value to your building. So if ever possible, do it, even if you get away with a smaller bedroom, as long as the room still makes sense. And you'll see on the tour that we actually made the absolute best out of this 740 square feet. This was the best and most ideal layout. Took some thinking, took a few opinions, and that's another thing, guys. Reach out to your mentors, reach out to people that are working on properties just like the one that you're looking at, and see what they did. So I walked through Kellen, who you may have seen on Matt's channel. I walked through Matt. I walked through Troy, my partner himself. And I think, and I walked through with Dylan McLaughlin. So these are all people that are experienced in adding value to buildings, that are experienced in changing layouts. They're experienced to adding bedrooms. They're experienced to what materials and what layouts and what finishes I should go with. So I asked for all of their opinions. I also asked our interior designer too. I said, hey, what would you do in terms of colors? What kind of paint and flooring and everything would help this space feel larger and get the most value? And ultimately went with every suggestion that all of these people had. So reach out to those people, get a great idea of what you're going to do, and create that action plan based off that right from the start. So $40,000, that actually got us our renovations and furniture. Now of the $40,000, you guys might be surprised to hear this, but for our Airbnb, I believe the furniture only ended up costing us about $3,000, which is amazing compared to some of my other properties and some of our other projects. On this one, I took more time just because of our budgeting constraints, because we had gone so far over, to buy used furniture, to look online at Facebook Marketplace, to look for deals on Boxing Day specials. So we got to take advantage of all of those different things. So we've got a brand new couch here, never been sat on, for $285, right? We've got a brand new 55-inch smart TV here for our guests that was like $400, right? So we're getting these deals. We're really looking out, trying to buy smart. Now, it's not necessarily a great use of my time, because I could be out finding the next deal. I could be out raising more capital. But at the same time, if you run up to those budgeting constraints, you have to do what you have to do. So just get it done. And that's been the case the last few days, where I'm sick here and literally just hustling and getting it done. So it's great. And that's a really important point. It's like, if you're running out of time, you're running out of money, you're running out of energy, you have to find a way and outsource that some way, or do it all yourself. Whatever is going to get the job done, make sure it happens. So at the end of the day, it's worth it, because as I show you these numbers, it's going to make a lot of sense now why we went so hard and so heavy into this renovation, and why we spent the extra money. So all said and done, we're $180,000 into this building after repairs, okay? So we acquired it for $140,000, we spent $40,000, now we're at $180,000, and our ARV, our after repair value, is estimated somewhere between $250,000 to $280,000. Now, I know you may not have a degree in math, but I'm gonna make it really simple for you guys. There's about $100,000 difference there, and even if I go conservatively, even if I assume that it's only worth $250,000, knowing full well that my neighbor just across the street just sold for $280 and it's not even as nice, then I still can work out some beautiful numbers for myself and my partner. And looking at a refinancing at $250,000, if we get an 80% loan to value at 3%, we're gonna have a $200,000 mortgage, which means, because we're only $180,000 into this property, that we come away plus 20K. Let that sink in. I just spent 140 getting the building. I spent 40 more on renovations, so I'm 180 in. The bank's gonna give me now 200,000. So this is what we call the BRRRR method, guys. This is buy it, renovate it, rent it out, then refinance it, and then repeat it. And how are you gonna repeat it? Well, you just got your money back. Right? So it's genius, guys. It's absolutely genius. This is how real estate is done. This is how multiple acquisitions can happen a year. And this is how people like myself can continue to buy real estate without a job, right? Without that income, without that credit, without that T4. You guys are always making excuses and commenting, well, how are we gonna do it? Or this only works because you got lucky. No, it works because you put in the work, right? You did the work. And when you saw the budget running over, when you saw the scope creep coming, you just lean into it and get the job done and do it right so that we can get those valuations. So as long as you guys are experts, you know what you're doing, you've talked to your mentors, you've done your research before you pull that trigger, you know that you can get the numbers out on the back end, and that bottom line is all that counts. It's all about numbers, it's about being objective, and it's about making smart, strategic real estate acquisitions, and that starts here. It starts here at the purchase price, guys. So make sure you're leveraging all the tools that you have. Maybe you're not the right person to be finding the deals. Maybe you have to pay a wholesale fee. Even if you're myself and you have those skills, if somebody else has the deal, I'm always willing to compensate. I'm always willing to split this now with a partner, right? Instead of trying to go find all that capital myself and borrow it, because I got a great partner on this. So you guys have to find a way where you can get yourself involved in this and start pulling the trigger. And that's often what we find a lot of people are being held back by, is just that lack of confidence or that lack of mentorship or that lack of understanding and competence. And really it's all here for you guys. It's in every one of Matt's videos. It's in Cashflow Tribe. It's in all these groups where we're talking about these numbers and showing you on paper how it all works. So I think it's time that you guys take a look at the building. What do you think? Let's go for a walkthrough. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my most recent project here in Old East Village. Today I'm gonna give you a tour. This is gonna be an Airbnb, but first I wanted to break down the renovations for you and show you some of the work that we did on this property. So you're gonna get to see some before pictures, and today I'm gonna show you the after. So come on through. Here we are in the living room. So you can see we actually renovated and furnished the whole building. So this furnishing again is for Airbnb, but you'll notice if you can get the floor into here that we went with a luxury vinyl plank flooring. When we first came into here, there was a hideous tile on the floor near the front door, and all of this was mixed matched versions of like laminate. There was some hardwood in places, there was carpet in the back bedroom. It was all terrible. And today the only thing that remains is this red tiling, and I think we're actually going to come back here in a couple of months once we get some revenue here and just put in some black tile so that it matches the fireplace and really contrasts that white brick that we did. One of the things that we had to do here that you can't see anymore, but we'll show you with the photos, is this fireplace was actually only like 3/4. So from this whole quadrant, like this whole quadrant of the chimney is missing. So what we did, I decided like, hey, we can either re-brick this, brick it all the way up, which takes a mason, or we can just use some carpentry and some drywall and then put some electrical up in there to really make the best use of the space. So we built this out, so that's a build out on top of what is a chimney back there, and then we dropped some wiring down from the attic to actually wire this up so that you could mount your TV here if you had a big sectional from the living room, so that you can get a full family room this way, or the way we've done it, the application we're going with, is to have the TV straight across the couch in this massive living room. So the fireplace is inactive, so we don't want people having fires in here, but otherwise we trimmed all the windows. We did these built-in shelves, so we're gonna also spruce it up with some more colors, some more artwork, some books and stuff into here for the Airbnb. But for the most part, we focused on changing the layout of this building and changing the structure. So right above me, you guys will see there's a bit of a bulkhead here. And what this used to be was actually a full built-in shelf that actually housed his refrigerator. So his fridge sat here, and then this full depth of this bulkhead, so about this 2 feet or so, was all part of a wall. And then, so the wall jutted out from here, closed in this entire space to where these built-ins are. So imagine this whole thing is actually a wall everywhere I'm stepping. So this is all a wall. And then the only doorway to the back of the house was where this white space exists here. So that was our only way to get to the back of the house. And you can imagine, if I close all this off on you guys right now, what that does to the flow of the building as well as the lighting. So it really closed the space off and made it feel small. This house is actually only 740 square feet, but it feels massive now that we've opened it up. Like, this living room is probably bigger than yours. Like, it's massive. Now coming in here, we've got our little dining space that we created. Okay, so when you first came through this doorway before, kind of where my thermostat is now, this whole space was open. So it was kind of useless space because he had his bedroom in this far corner, out by the TV, where the TV is now, and then he had a couch and something else, kind of where ours is. But then back here, he just had nothing, except for a bunch of water damage on the ceiling. He had the ceiling falling out. There was actually wires coming through the ceiling here, just hanging bare. So that's a major code violation. But otherwise, this space was relatively useless. And he also wasn't using this back bedroom because it was so disgusting. So I'll take you through this bedroom quickly. It's just a small bedroom, but we actually made this building. So this wall didn't exist before. So we put up this wall and created this bedroom. So, you know, total cost on the project to build this wall and create this bedroom was probably only a few $1,000s, because it's just framing, a bit of electrical, and some drywall. So once you make the bedroom though, you can see how this can easily get you hundreds of dollars more in either rent and like hundreds and hundreds of dollars more if you're short-term rental, because now we've doubled the people that can sleep here right away. So that's a huge value add. So get our next bedroom into here, that's awesome. And we created a dining space which wasn't naturally part of the building before. And then we also fixed up this back bedroom, which was important because this was unusable. The ceiling was disgusting, the walls were disgusting, there was lath and plaster peeling off of every wall in here. And more importantly, this back wall was just a disaster. It was awful. It was it was completely exposed with just like this blue styrofoam type thing was the only thing insulating it. So, and the same actually for that exterior wall on the east. But this whole wall was like a foam wall, like it was just gross, and it was hidden behind a dresser. So what we did is we actually re-insulated, vapor barrier, fixed that all up, so now it's properly done. And then we also added a register in here so we can actually get some heat, because this is an addition. So this little addition, and you'll see this stupid wall. This sucks, okay? This is what sucks when people don't do things right the first time, is they built this addition. So this whole room that we're in is not part of the original house, but when they built the addition, they just didn't build this square footage out. So we have this jutting out wall. So in the future, it's possible we'll go back, rip that out and rebuild and reframe, but it just wasn't worth it at this point. So coming back into the dining room, you see we've got some cute decor stuff for the Airbnb. And then coming into our kitchen, we did an open style, so we really tried to make the most of this space that we could. So brand new countertops, new cabinets, new gas fireplace, oh my god, new gas stove, that's a stove. We've got, again for the Airbnb, we've got some basic cooking supplies, so we've got our pots, pans, plates, bowls, mugs and everything. We've got our Keurig, and we had to go out and find this cute little space-saving fridge. It opens the wrong way, but for Airbnb it doesn't really matter. And then we built a door closing off the basement so our guests can't actually go down there, which is really important. Now, when we started this renovation, this bathroom was really creepy. So it was actually two of those double mirrored closet doors that you see in like houses from the 70s-ish and up, like those mirrored doors. So like if you're standing here, it's just a reflection of you, and then you would slide the door open. And then up here were these glass cubes, and I'll share this with Peter so that you guys can definitely see this, but there's these glass cubes that were like translucent, but they were all stained yellow from nicotine. And the same with the walls. Painting this place was a disaster. I'm talking 3 coats of oil-based primer to get rid of the nicotine stains because it kept bleeding through. Awful stuff. Don't smoke. If you see what it does to your walls, if you see what it does to paint, you'll know why right away. It shouldn't be in your lungs. So, total bathroom redo. And we went all out, okay? In a house this small, it makes a lot of sense to go all out on some of the little features that are going to stand out to the people that are here. Whether that's rental, flip, or short-term rental, you need to have things that stand out about the house. So with 740 square feet, we've snuck in 2 bedrooms, a sizable dining room, and a massive living room, and then you get this gorgeous bathroom. So with the bathroom, we opted to go with a brand new tub, all new tile work, so all new subway tile, a brand new window, and then new vanity, new slate flooring, which is gorgeous. We did built-ins here. So this platform here, this is actually the stairs to the basement. So if you're going to the basement, you need that headspace, so they built this platform. But originally it was just flat. So it was like this big box in the middle of the bathroom that did nothing. So instead of trying to rip that out and destroy our headspace to the basement, you still need access there for the laundry. We actually just did these built-ins so that now for Airbnb, you can store all the materials there, can store the towels, as well as just make some utility out of that square footage. Like when you're working with 740, you got to use it all. So yeah, I mean, this is beautiful. The only thing that probably could have added some more value would be a double vanity. But at the same time, this is a gorgeous vanity, nice finishes, and it all makes sense. It's all coming together. So yeah, new fan too. Had to run a new exhaust fan because it wasn't vented anywhere. It just went up, which is not cool. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, when you've got a tiny house, you don't have a whole lot to show, and that's again why we spent the money on the bathroom, on the kitchen, on the flooring, and then for our Airbnb strategy on the furniture. So all in, we're about $40,000. We got this property for 140, brings us up to 180, and we're expecting to refinance this property at 250,000. So killer deal.
Thanks again to Adam for taking the time to document his investment strategy on this BRRRR single family home. Really exciting, and in fact we've actually got another separate video for you guys documenting the Airbnb process of this house because he's going to try and maximize his gross rents implementing that strategy. But if you guys want to watch more Adam Martin, we're going to throw a video up right there, or if you want to learn more about Airbnb and how to really maximize your gross rents, we've thrown together a playlist. Click right here. Otherwise, if you guys are enjoying these videos, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and definitely follow along with Adam Martin on his journey on Instagram. You can find him Adam JD Martin.